Avery, whose show is this? And we're live. Welcome, everybody, here to the Lakers Lounge Podcast. I'm Anthony Irwin, joined on this lovely Sunday afternoon out there on the West Coast, evening my time, early-ish evening my time. The Lakers just finished ripping off their most impressive win of the season. This is their best win of the year. In a season that has far too much competition for worst loss. this one takes a cake for best win. The Lakers went into Oklahoma City playing against a team that this is, I believe, only their second time all year that they've lost 2 in a row. OKC has been dominant in the regular season this year. And everything that I talked about the last time Harrison and I talked about contenders that, in the West and that we'd rather not see the Lakers play, everything that I said in my questions about the Oklahoma City Thunder, we got a nice little look at why I said a lot of those things in this game. The final in OKC, 126-99. And honestly, it wasn't even that close. The Lakers were up, felt like between 25 and 30 for much of the second half. They went up by 20 points, I believe, in the second quarter, fairly early on in the second quarter, and never really looked back. I thought OKC made a couple of runs, but the Lakers got timely stops. They made big buckets. Funny stat in this one, Dorian Finney-Smith finished the game a plus 28. Absolutely astonishing performance from the Lakers overall, and one that they really, really needed. The Lakers obviously have a slim lead over the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, it's a lot slimmer than we feel like it should be because of the performance that the Lakers put together against the Warriors last week. But the Lakers, or the standings, right here, I'm pulling it up. The Lakers have 30 losses on the year, and the Golden State Warriors have 31. Golden State plays Houston tonight, and we'll see how that game goes. But if the Lakers are, they got the split that they needed here. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see how both teams approach the next game. The Lakers play in OKC again on Tuesday. But it's going to be really interesting to see how the Lakers and OKC handle that game, to see if, there's how thorough a bounce back we're going to get here. So there's a ton that we got to talk about. We got to talk about the shooting. The Lakers shot the absolute crap out of the ball in this game. I thought Luka was incredible. I thought Austin was really bleeping good. LeBron's numbers aren't, all that loud, but it was just, I thought, an incredibly impressive performance from him, especially defensively. It was an outstanding game here from the Lakers, and one that they frankly really, really needed. You get this win out of the way. Now you go into OKC again on Tuesday with all of the pressure alleviated. It's kind of like the beginning of a series, right? Where you say, well, you get greedy and you try to win that second game, but you already got your split. So yeah, huge win here for the Lakers. A ton that we have to talk about it. And just all around incredibly impressive performance here from the Lakers. Wow. I'm speechless. Like I know it's not great to be speechless for a podcast, but I am truly like having an out of body experience watching whatever we just watched here from the Lakers. Luka played well on a huge game, and I'm going to go ahead and play this. Unreal. Such a fun game. So Luka in this one, you had Shai retweeting the Lou Dort effect stats on there. I hate watching Lou Dort play. I just he's so annoying. He plays so physically and then he also flops. I hate that combination. It's the same nonsense that Joel Embiid pulls, where you have these physically imposing huge people whose physicality is what makes them special. And then anytime they get touched or anything like that, they fall over. Lou Dort's entire approach to guarding the pick and roll is just run into the screener and get knocked over and get the call. He had a play today that I thought could have actually really hurt Jackson Hayes, where he sticks his leg in between and knees Jackson. Jackson falls over, but Lou Dort also falls over and he gets the call. It was just, I can't stand watching him play. But anyway, somebody who also I don't think is particularly fond of Lou Dort, just based on the game that we saw from him tonight. Luka went for 30 points. He had 7 rebounds. He had 6 assists. He was 11 of 20 from the field, 5 of 11 from 3-point range. He was a plus 18 on the game. Only turned the ball over a couple of times. Went 3 of 4 from the line. Luka only getting 4 free throw attempts in a game where Lou Dort, I mean, like, harassment, I think, is not an improper term to use for the type of defense Lou Dort plays. But the Lakers set a ton of screens, and they got Dort off of Luka. They got Caruso off of Luka, and they got whatever kind of matchup that they wanted. And they mixed that with a decent level of organized offense here. And the Lakers were hitting on all cylinders. Best, I think, summary of the game that Luka had, though, here was this play. I'm going to see if this works properly.
Last regular season game next Sunday when everybody's in action. Doncic, throw it up, score! And one!
Double team comes over, and he says, I don't even care. Throws it up. Look at that thing. Goes up, finds the bottom, and he says, yeah, that's me.
As he shot that one, as he was getting ready to when he double pumped it and he brought the ball down to his waist and he just flipped the ball over his shoulder. As soon as he released it, I was like, oh shit, that's going to go in. And it did. And it was just and look, the guy that he first went by there was Alex Caruso, and he made it appear as if Alex Caruso just wasn't there. This is a tough matchup for AC. I think the next time the Lakers play them, they'll probably have AC really kind of focus on Reaves, because he's way too small for LeBron, and he's way too small for Luka. And, that leaves, of all of the great wing defenders there, it's Lou Dort and it's Kenrich Williams. And that's about it as far as guys that they can kind of feasibly put onto Luka and LeBron. I'm looking here again. Yeah, maybe Kason Wallace. I don't know. It's like I've been saying when I previewed this matchup, they rely heavily on smaller players who get into your jersey and make you feel uncomfortable because it's a lot of contact, below the waist and around the knees and stuff like that. But Luka and LeBron, they don't care about that stuff. It's just like, oh, okay, it's a gnat flying around my knee. I'm going to go ahead and back you in and shove you in a locker. And that's basically what we saw all game from Luka. I'm going to play it again. Look how easily Luka moves Alex Caruso and gets into the paint here.
And we'll start. Last regular season game next Sunday when everybody's in action.
He doesn't feel him at all. And then by the time the help gets there,
double team comes over and he says, I don't even care. Throws it up.
Look at that thing goes up, to come over,
finds the bottom.
Look how big Luka is wing for OKC. It's just they don't have anything for those guys. And I think that's going to remain the case in a series between the two teams. Now, again, we aren't going to see the Lakers shot absolutely incredibly from deep in this one. 22 of 40 from three-point range for the Lakers. 55% from three-point range is bananas. Absolutely incredible. So you aren't going to get that again. And some of them were Luka step back three-pointers. Austin hit a couple deep ones as well. But it also should be pointed out, the Lakers were creating a ton of wide open looks against the league's best defense. OKC just didn't have anything for them. The Lakers were doing everything they could to bring Chet and to bring Isaiah Hartenstein out into space. And those guys just they look like they suffocated out there in the thin air. It was crazy to watch the Lakers make an outstanding at various points in the season. We were talking about OKC as potentially the best defense of all time. And they do have the personnel to suffocate most teams. I just don't think they have the personnel to really affect what the Lakers do, which is Luka is a physically imposing, brilliant mind that isn't bothered by the type of pressure that OKC applies. Everything that I just said there about Luka, you can say also about LeBron. And both of those guys, whenever it came time for the Lakers to kind of calm down and create a good look, the Lakers just basically handed the ball off to Luka, handed the ball off to LeBron, and said, go to work. And those guys typically created either a great look for themselves or a great look for somebody else. And OKC just didn't really have anything to say about it. The other guy I thought who was incredible in this game was Austin. He finished, now his numbers again, the only guy whose numbers like really kind of jump off the page to you is Luka with the 30 and 7 and 6. And even that is not, wow, look at that by his standards. Everybody else, like it was a very balanced effort here. You had Rui with 11. You had LeBron with 19. Hayes scored 7. Luka, as we talked about, scored 30. Austin with 20. Dorian with 14 on 5 shot attempts. Gabe Vincent went for 12 points on 4 of 7 from 3-point range in the field. All of his shots were 3-pointers. Even Jared Vanderbilt scored what feels like a career high with 3 points. It was an incredible performance here, just balanced out across the board here from the Lakers. And I just, OKC just didn't really have anything for them. And again, like OKC's defense was basically, and will probably remain, we'll see this from everybody basically, that, all right, Gabe, go beat us. All right, Dorian, go beat us. And today those guys did. And against Houston the other night, they did. And then, and the difference being with this performance compared to the Houston one is that Luka also knocked down some 3-pointers. And Austin also knocked down, he had 4 3-pointers in this game. And offensively, the Lakers were just taking it away. I'm not obviously in Southern California. So the broadcast that I watched of this one was the OKC one on NBA TV. And listening to their play-by-play and colored commentator combination, it was really clear that they were just like kind of befuddled at what OKC can do to stymie the runs that the Lakers were going on. And a lot of times it was, well, they aren't going to shoot like this again. And they for sure aren't going to shoot, you aren't going to see this kind of offensive performance from the Lakers again, which, yes, true. But I do think that the Lakers are going to be able to generate wide open looks all over the court whenever they run, good organized offense and find a proper balance of the good organized offense and the matchup hunting. In this game, we did see a good balance of that, I thought, and the Lakers were just completely unguardable. And then on top of that, they were unguardable in a game where they played their asses off defensively. I have a possession here that I want to just marvel at because it was just so beautiful to watch. On this play here, watch how many deflections the Lakers get here. Look at how uncomfortable everything that OKC tries to do is. Here's a play. But he has to fire up a jumper that, he's not comfortable taking. Look at the shot that he has to take here, right? This is with the shot clock winding down. This is a pressure forced heave based on the actual contest to potentially have Shai fall over and get himself a foul. Incredible defense there. And I could probably go out and find 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 examples of possessions just like that, where the Lakers just completely suffocated the Thunder. And considering the defensive concerns that we have had recently about this team, that was the kind of performance that we kind of sort of needed from them. And I can't say enough about the role that LeBron James played in said defense. There was a moment in the second half where now the Lakers entered the third quarter up 20-ish points, 20-something points. And you're watching it, you're like, you just know that OKC is going to come out of here and they're going to try to go on a run and make this thing a game again. And the Lakers started the quarter. There was a play that could have been a turnover, but they called a foul on whoever was guarding Jackson, holding him from the pass that Luka threw. There were a couple forced 3-pointers there that didn't feature enough player or ball movement. There was a couple other turnovers there, and OKC had their opportunities to really cut into the lead and did. And then there was a play that I think like the response to it really kind of got the ship going in the right direction. But there was a play where OKC got, I think, 2 offensive rebounds, and then eventually Caruso knocked down an open 3-pointer, or somebody gets fouled or something like that. No, Caruso made a 3-pointer on one of them. Then they come down and the Lakers gave up another offensive rebound and then committed a foul. And the video clearly shows LeBron in Rui's face saying, block out, box out, or I think he was just saying box. He's like, box out, cut it out. They are going to go on a run. We cannot allow them to get back into this game. And he really went at him in that moment, LeBron did. And, all night, LeBron was super active defensively, calling out rotations, calling out screens. He finished tonight, again, by his standards, not that incredible a game. 19 points, 7 assists, only had 3 rebounds, but he was everywhere, boxing out like crazy, tipping the ball if the Lakers needed to tip the ball. He finished a +7, and some of that is a little noisy. In the second half, they it was basically garbage time, and so a lot of the plus minuses got thrown off at the very end of the game. But as much as Luka was incredible, and he was, and as great as Austin played, I actually think my favorite game played today was from LeBron, and the way that he anchored that defense and kept everybody on task in a game where if you give OKC an inch, they're going to take a mile. And in this one, LeBron just made absolutely sure that the Lakers never gave OKC an inch that they couldn't fight back on and regain. And I don't think the Lakers win this one as convincingly without LeBron. Obviously, if LeBron doesn't play, that's another thing. But I think like this approach to the game where he's like, all right, Luka's got it going. All right, Austin has it going. I'm going to focus on the defense. I'm going to be the chameleon that I know I can be in terms of basketball. And it was a really fun, cool performance here from LeBron. And again, one that the Lakers absolutely needed as they want to stay at least one loss ahead of Golden State. Now we'll see how Houston does. I live out here in Texas. Obviously, I'm a lifelong Houston Rockets fan as of a few minutes ago, and only until the end of the night. But still, Houston, take care of business, and the Lakers did their part to take care of business. And I honestly think, as impressive as the Lakers shooting was, the part of the game that I loved most watching was the way that they were defending. It was so effing fun to watch them all operating on a string. They were making the rotations that they needed to make. They were making multiple rotations on plays. And then on top of it, they were closing out those possessions by boxing out. OKC, they were playing Chet and Hartenstein at the same time, and they were trying to go big enough to create some extra possessions. But you look at the final numbers here. OKC had their 9 offensive rebounds. The Lakers had 8. So the Lakers only gave up the 1 extra possession there. The Lakers had 15 turnovers. Now, OKC did win the turnover battle here. They only turned the ball over 7 times compared to the 15 that the Lakers gave up. But it didn't matter. The Lakers shot well enough to make up for the math there, and then defended well enough and rebounded well enough. They wound up out rebounding the Thunder in this one, 43-34. The Lakers did, and yeah, that's as the shooting is the reason that the Lakers won this game, and it was the most impressive thing. Like, as you're watching, you're like, geez, everybody's hitting, awesome. But to me, if you go back and rewatch this game, the thing that I would hope that sticks out to those of you who do that is going to be, holy crap, look at the force that the Lakers played with defensively. It was truly impressive. Let's see. The other part of this that we just have to sing this guy's praises, because he was as great as LeBron was defensively. It's not a coincidence that Dorian was a plus 28 in this game. And I kind of wonder, I tweeted this out early in the game, but I kind of wonder, in a playoff setting, if the Lakers eventually are just going to start Dorian and then bring Hayes off of the bench. My thinking on that is that, yes, you're starting small and you don't necessarily know how it's going to go against some of these, especially bigger teams like OKC up front. But that second unit, when LeBron subs out, it's really ugly to see that second unit. It's one thing. So if you have Luka and LeBron in Austin, and you have a lob threat out there, that offense is perfectly tailored to what Luka is going to be looking to do. But then when you sub out both LeBron and Luka's lob threat, and you bring in Vando as your center there, that makes that second unit pretty iffy. Now, fortunately, in this one, Luka was just shooting so well that it didn't really seem to matter. But I do kind of wonder in the postseason if the Lakers eventually are going to start Dorian, so that when LeBron subs out, you can bring Hayes in, and now Luka and Hayes can operate together with that second unit. And the bread and butter of the offense with that second unit would then be Luka and Hayes pick and roll, or Austin and Hayes pick and roll, or whatever it is, 3-man game stuff with Luka and Austin and Hayes. I think eventually that's going to be the identity of the team. And the reason that they can do it is because Dorian is so effing good defensively. It is so fun to watch him play defense, where, for one thing, he is always talking. After plays, he's either talking mess to the other team, he's talking to his teammates to make sure that they know where to be, he's talking to himself just for the sake of talking. He is always going. He's kind of like, scientists always kind of marvel at Geese's ability to fly at the elevations that they fly, and also have oxygen left over to bleat at each other or honk or whatever it is that geese do. That's kind of like watching Dorian play, where he's playing so hard. He's running all over the place. He's making crazy rotations. He's boxing out. He's going after rebounds. He's doing everything. And then on top of it, while he's flying at that elevation, he's also honking out to all of his teammates and to the other team and to the referees and to himself. He's just constantly talking, and it's really, really fun to watch him play. And I do kind of wonder, Hayes only plays the first few minutes of the game anyway, and then he subs out. Hayes only played 13 total in this one. That's going to be the Lakers' identity. And I kind of wonder if they're better off getting to that identity first and then having Hayes be the curveball rather than the small ball try to be both curveball and fastball. So Dorian was incredible. Again, 30 minutes in this one, 4 or 5 from the field. All of his field goal attempts were 3-pointer attempts. So we went 4 or 5 from 3-point range, made a couple free throws, grabbed 7 rebounds, dished out a couple assists. And again, was a easily game high plus 28 in this one. Just a phenomenal game here from Dorian. And it was great to see him and Gabe and Luka even really bounce back from the games the disappointing games that they all played at home against the Golden State Warriors the other night. Fantastic game. Just really, really fun to watch from Dodo or Doe, depending on who you ask. LeBron called him Dodo and Doe. So I'm not really sure what to do with all of that. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive on into some of your guys' questions. I see a few starred comments, which means I get to play this. Always. All right, I'm going to scroll to the very, very, very top here just to make sure I get all of them. Brandon Omeng writes, when DFS and Gabe are hitting their threes, we're unbeatable, especially with the big three. J-Dub has to be suspended next game. That was a BS play. Center spot is still concerning. Yeah, the J-Dub thing was interesting because normally in that situation, a referee will kind of overreact in terms of the flagrant that they give. And I thought that was clearly a flagrant 1 that I thought would actually be elevated to a flagrant 2, just because it happened. The game was already out of hand. J-Dub specifically played really poorly in this one. The Lakers were able to hold him. He played 28 minutes, 4 of 14 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3-point range, only had 16 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, did have 3 steals, but was a minus 11 in the game. Really interesting here. Shai was actually second for worst plus minus in this one. I thought he never really looked all that comfortable, and he didn't shoot any free throws. I would have to imagine that's going to be 1 of 1 in terms of games that Shai plays this year where he doesn't shoot any free throws. That was, and you know, I thought the Lakers played him really, really well. He tried to make a couple of those plays that he would grift his way to the free throw line, but the Lakers, I thought, played really disciplined on him, stayed on the ground, didn't jump on pump fakes. If they did jump to contest, they did jump straight up. So it was really clear that he was the one trying to initiate contact there. Really impressive game that the Lakers had on him, but Jalen Williams was not a factor at all in this one and was really frustrated. And normally in that spot, when a really frustrated player, a clearly frustrated player goes and makes a dirty play, normally the referees will be like, okay, that's a flagrant 1. Normally, now it's a flagrant 2 because we know that there is intent behind the play. And for whatever reason, they didn't do that there. I don't think they'll suspend him for it because there was no contact on the head or anything like that. But it definitely should have been, I thought, a flagrant 2. Now, as far as the Gabe and Dorian thing, if they're knocking threes down, look, I'll go ahead and walk out on the very sturdy limb that the Lakers will not lose any games this season where they shoot over 50% from 3-point range, especially on decent volume. They honestly could have got up more threes in this one. They shot 22 of 40 from 3-point range. I think eventually the Thunder started playing out to the 3-point line a little bit more, and that allowed the Lakers to get in there and operate in the floater game or get to the line or whatever. But yeah, that you know, the notion of what the Lakers can be in these games where Gabe and Dorian are knocking down 3-pointers, and then on top of it, you have Luka and Austin also shooting well from 3-point range. Yeah, offensively, that's just not guardable. There's nothing you can do against the Lakers when they shoot that way. And then you combine that with the defense that the Lakers played, and that's how you go out and absolutely apply belt to ass on one of the most dominant teams in the sport this season. Just I keep saying it. I hope you guys aren't getting sick of hearing it, but just an incredible performance. I honestly I'm trying to find words or different words to keep on using on it, but that's what I keep on coming back to is that was an unbelievable game that the Lakers played. Let's go to the next super comment here. Justin Tyndall writes, SGA 23 field goal attempts with no free throws. A clear strategy there. Agreed 100%. I didn't love the challenge that the Lakers had, and they were up by 20 something at the time of the challenge. So I think maybe the Lakers thought that they could win this one in the third quarter, which they essentially did. They entered the fourth quarter up almost 30, and it would have taken an absolute disaster to lose the game at that point. But the second challenge that they made, I thought there was I think there was a point to it. I haven't looked to see if JJ Redick was asked about it after the game, but I kind of wonder if the reason that they challenged that one was to kind of remind referees like, hey man, this guy grifts, just so you know. It was weird. On the review, I thought the reading of the review was really weird. Honestly, I thought both reviews, they granted the Lakers the challenge. They said the Lakers won their challenge, but in neither instance did they go to the extent that I thought they should have. On the first one, I thought they should have changed the call from a LeBron, hilarious, but a LeBron offensive foul. I thought that should have changed to a foul either on J-Dub, because when he jumps, he immediately puts an arm into LeBron's side. Or it should have been a foul on whoever was pursuing the play from behind for jumping into LeBron and forcing him forward into J-Dub, and thus creating the offensive foul that they called in the first place. But they decided to make the call of, no, it's just a non-call, when there was so much contact on the play. I thought it was a crazy reading of the situation. And then with the second one, they said that Luka made a legal play on the ball by just jumping straight up. They admit that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stuck his foot out and made contact with Luka, but they said that it wasn't enough contact to be a foul in and of itself. And it was just like, what? Like in both of those cases, I just thought in terms of how to read the rules in that moment, they actually read the rules incorrectly. But regardless, it doesn't wind up mattering. But I do kind of wonder if JJ took that challenge, knowing that it would cost him the ability to challenge for the rest of the game. But he took that challenge then simply to send a message to the referees that, hey, just so we're all on the same page here, we know what this guy's game is. Don't let him start grifting and start getting rewarded for it. And if that was kind of the approach there, I actually liked the challenge a lot more. I didn't love it in the moment because it felt really early to take a challenge that even if you win, you can no longer challenge again. But if the point of it was to remind the refs, like, no, keep this dude off the free throw line for the grifting stuff. Don't let him grift his way to a bunch of free throws here. And not giving up any free throws to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's one of the most impressive defensive performances that you'll see from anybody this season. That specific thing, keeping Shai off of the free throw line altogether, is about as impressive as anything any team has done this season. Laker Pride writes, I doubt it will happen, but the challenge system needs to be tweaked. You should be able to keep your challenge until you lose it. Don't punish teams for refs' errors. I agree 100% with this. I either want them to scrap it or to actually lean into it, because what we're seeing, there was a video that went kind of viral from a couple months ago, And it was all these referees basically sitting around at a round table talking about refereeing and how it's evolved over the years and this and that and the other. And all of them said how much they hate the challenge system or the replay review system. And I found it all really funny in the moment because the referees, saying that they don't like in the moment accountability is just exactly what you would expect to hear from a referee. But one of the points made from a bunch of the older referees was that they feel like some of the referees who are newer to the sport or newer to refereeing in the NBA actually have become reliant on replay review. And again, it was the kind of thing that I just didn't pay too much mind to in the moment. But now watching some of these games, like there was an out of bounds call after the Lakers had already used their second challenge. There was an out of bounds call where I think Austin and one of the OKC players were fighting for a loose ball. And the OKC player clearly knocked it out. And the OKC player was, I think it was J-Dub. It was either J-Dub or Wallace, one of those two guys. It was, or Dort. It was one of their like wings who have dreads. And the ball goes out. And it appeared to me that the referee and OKC even responded accordingly, where they were like, no. We have to get the ball back into play before the Lakers can challenge us. They had forgotten in the moment that the Lakers couldn't challenge anymore. But it was really clear to me that the referee made that call and was like, oh, well, if I got it wrong, that we'll be able to overturn it. Because Lou Dort, Kason Wallace, or J-Dub, their hand looks really different from Austin Reaves' hand. It's like... you should be able to tell very clearly whose hand that goes off of, because you have Austin's hand and any of those guys' hands, and there's a major difference between those hands. It's not size. And Austin like freaked out. He's like, what? It was clearly off of OKC. And the referee, like, he makes the call or whatever. OKC rushes to because they know it was off them too. They rush to the referee, get the ball, and they get the ball back in play. And it's like that. And I thought in that moment, it was really clear that the referee was just like, well, if I got it wrong, whatever, they'll be able to challenge. And then he was like, oh shit, they can't challenge. And that's not great. And I think we see this really often here, where these referees will make glaring mistakes, and they'll make those mistakes knowing that it can just be overturned. But if teams have a limited supply of challenges and you force them to challenge something that's a glaring mistake earlier in the game, and now you limit them to one more challenge for the rest of the game, then that actually hurts the team. Winning challenges actually hurts you. So I think that the NBA really needs to rethink the limited supply of challenges, or they should be able to, like if a referee is going to approach some of these calls with, for lack of a better term, a lackadaisical approach, because they know that they can just overturn the call, or that a bad call can just be overturned, then the referee should be able to be like, you know what? My bad. I didn't get a very good look at it. I want to go over there. Like, there should be a referee challenge where it's like, I don't know if I got that right. And they can go to the booth and quickly, it's a 10-second thing where you throw to New Jersey or wherever it is that the replay center is. You throw to them and you say, hey, did I get that one wrong? And they say, yeah. And then you can just move on with the game. But yeah, the referees, I thought in this one, like in the third quarter, I thought the way that the game was being refereed really kind of changed, where there was a couple like hand checks that were called, and it looked like the game was going to be called in a way that would make it just so happen to make it close again. And I was like, no, please don't. Come on. That's going to extend the length of this game to a ridiculous extent. But fortunately, they were able to kind of catch themselves in the moment. And I thought refereed an okay game from that point forward. But I completely agree with Laker Pride here, saying that either it needs to be scrapped altogether, and you just recognize that sometimes referees are going to miss some calls, or teams should just be able to, until they get one wrong. Once you get one wrong, privilege is gone. You no longer get to challenge anymore. But if you get it right and you hold these referees accountable for making a mistake, then you should never be held accountable for merely holding the referees accountable. Now, there is a referee union, and I would imagine I would really love to see how much negotiation there is as far as review and the amounts of accountability or the extent to which these referees can be held to account. But yeah, the referee, the younger referees who I think use reviews as a crutch are legitimately bad for the sport. You shouldn't, if it's a glaring really bad mistake, the wronged team should be able to just obnoxiously laugh at the referee in the moment, or the referee should have to run a suicide or something like that for an ugly mistake, as we sometimes see there. Like an example of this, it's slightly different, but this happens all the time, I feel like, in the NBA, where a player will commit double dribble, and because a referee thinks to themselves, there's no way any of these guys, had they been playing the game for so long, there's no way nobody would ever dribble, pick it up, and then dribble again. No way. Absolutely not. And I would imagine double dribble is one of the calls that gets missed the most often. And it's because these referees assume if they see it, they're like, I didn't see what I just saw, right? All right, we'll move on. And everybody else is kind of freaking out, like, how'd you miss that? How did you miss that? And I think a lot of times what it is you just kind of take for granted the level of basketball that you're watching here, and the double dribble gets ignored on accident, obviously, but it gets missed. And in those moments, if you miss that double dribble, and it gets shown on replays, whatever, the referee should be forced to face some public scrutiny in the moment there. And that call that was missed on the sideline after the Lakers had used their 2 challenges already, that was a brutal one. That was the kind of call that the Lakers should be allowed to laugh at the referee for missing. All right, let's see if we have any free comments here that I can get to. Let's see. Damn, I wish that this game happened at the Staples Center. That would have been fun. That would have been incredible. RoboCop. Anthony, you have to continue talking crap on the Lakers. Otherwise, you'll jinx it again and we'll start to suck again. All right. What did I not like from this game? Not enough Hayes minutes. How about that? The Hayes needs to play a few more minutes. You need to start Dorian and do. Look, there's nothing that I don't like about that game. Now we'll see. I'm really curious to see how the game goes on Tuesday, because I've always felt like OKC is not the terrifying presence that they profile as statistically, and that the Lakers specifically match up really well against OKC. I've felt like that before today. Obviously, after today, I feel even more like that. And I'm really curious to see if on Tuesday we get that reminder of, oh Okay. All right. That's I get it now. Because otherwise I respect them. They have been really bleeping good all year. I think they are a really, really, really good team. I just think that it's not they profile statistically like the kind of team that you tank to make sure you are on the other side of the conference of them in the postseason so that maybe somebody else knocks them out. But I'm actually at the place where I would rather face this team. I would rather face OKC in a series than, a few of the other teams in the West or a few of the other teams in the league. And some of those teams have worse records than these Thunder. And yeah, you can't get me Thunder because you're just God's thoughts. All right, let's see if I have any more here. Yeah, I agree with Brian here. Everyone smash the like button. 1,700 people in here. Please hit the like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the share button and tell people about the show. That stuff really, really helps too. Let's see. 100% thought the Kirby button video was coming. It did play earlier. It was right there. I played it earlier. This is actually better than the Kirby video. This little moment here.
The last regular season game next Sunday when everybody's in action.
Doncic throw it up, score! Incredible shot.
And one!
Double team comes over and he says, I don't even care. Throws it up. Look at that thing goes up.
Look how much bigger he is.
Bottom.
He walks by way taller, way bigger than Kason Wallace. Like the Thunder just don't have the oomph and the length to deal with Luka and LeBron. I just don't see it. I don't think it's a good matchup for OKC. So we'll see. Let's see. Is there any more? Yeah, I think Kotaku is saying that Jamal Murray might be out for a little while. So what I'm going to do is, and this is what I've been doing lately, I am probably going to, yeah, that's fair. You know what? You're right. Flex cuts. I have played, the moment does call for playing this more than once. Him like just floating down at the end is the best. But yeah, Murray, look, I think Denver's in trouble. I think the West can be won. There are some matchups. I don't love the Minnesota matchup for the Lakers. They are long and athletic on the perimeter and super switchy, and they have a postseason dog in Anthony Edwards. Don't love that matchup. The Golden State matchup makes me a little bit more nervous, but they had a lot go in their favor the last time the Lakers played them, and the Lakers could have won that game. So I don't know. I'm not going to get too far out ahead of my skis here because I don't want to jinx the Lakers, but the Lakers, they look pretty damn good. They look pretty damn good. This was as impressive as a win as any team in the NBA has had this season. All right, that is going to do it here for this episode of the Lakers Lounge Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and all of your questions and comments and all of that good stuff. Again, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And then if you guys have missed any of this, go back and check out the beginning of the show. And then if you guys are listening to this in pod form in the morning, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that 5-star review button. That stuff helps as well. The Lakers have an off day tomorrow, so I will be doing the mailbag then. So hit me on the Discord, the Lounge Discord's mailbag area. That's been a little empty recently. The 5-star reviews is the best way to get your question read on the show. And then, tune in tomorrow whenever I do dive into those mailbags. And we'll have a little bit of fun then. So until then, and until the next time you guys hear from me, I'm Anthony Irwin saying, have a great rest of your Sunday. Make somebody else's, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. Let's go. What a win. Wow.
Bye, everyone.